Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I want to give you a story about Muhammad migrate Madinah. So this story starts from after the Messenger of Allah preaching in Mecca with all the obstacles and trials. Finally, Allah Ta'ala ordered him to the Muslim to migrate to the city of Madinah to open a new age of da'wah. At night, when the prophet will migrate, his house is besieged by volatiles. Allah Ta'ala then ordered him to spread and stand on the face of the volatiles while reading some verse of the Quran. So the people confessing him. What he read at the time was using letter from the first ayah to the ninth verse. And so the Yasin verse 9 is sun, and we made in front of them a barrier, and behind them also a barrier, and we covered their eyes so that they could not see. Quran Surah Yasin verse 9. After all blocked their view, the Messenger of Allah, he left his house, and went Abu Bakr's house, next through a small door in Abu Bakr's house. Then two, two of them went out and walked until they arrived at Sur Cave, and the southern part of Mecca before dawn. So this next is about 3 nights in Sur Cave. After he came to Sur Cave, Abu Bakr entered first, so that he felt dangerous would hit him and not directly hit Rasulullah. Then he explored the cave and found a number of holes in it. With thorn of, of his surround, Abu Bakr plugged several holes until one or two remained, and he plugged them with oaths. Then the Messenger of Allah entered and slept on his lap. A few moments later, Abu Bakr felt his legs straight, but he didn't move because he was worried about walking. Him was sleepy. Tears falls. Tears fell because of the pain onto his face, which finally made him wake up. After being asked what made him cry, Bakr replied, "I was stung by an animal." Rasulullah spat on one of the part of his friend's legs that was stuck, and immediately the pain disappeared. The Bakr and while the Prophet and Bakr stayed in the cave for 3 minutes until the people searched for the succor of Abdullah bin Abu Bakr or Abu Bakr's son, campaigned for the night early in the morning Abdullah returned to Mecca. So it looks as if he had spent the night in the city. He found out about various incidents of Quraysh and other news, then reported out all this to the Prophet and his father when it was getting dark. Meanwhile, Amir bin Fuhairah, Abu Bakr for myself was assigned to her schools and visited the two of them in the evening. In this way, Rasulullah and Abu Bakr could drink the cold milk until their falls. In the morning, he led his herd back to Medina, to Mecca, following in the footsteps of Abdullah bin Abi Bakr in order to ease their distress. Personally, previously, on the night of the Prophet immigrates, the Croatians continued to surround his house until morning. At dawn, Ali got up from his bed. They called him and asked where the Prophet was. Where's the Prophet Sallallahu But that Ali replied, I don't know. Then he was beaten and dragged to Kaaba and held captive for a while. So he would open his mouth, but they still didn't get any information. The circle of Quraysh people come to Abu Bakr's house and interrogate his daughter Asma about her father. Asma replied, I don't know. Abu Jahl got angry and said, this woman until her earring fell off. Then they carried out search and searching in various places. They even provide prize for anyone who could catch the two Muslims dead or alive. It was 100 camels. During their search, the Quraysh searched the Mansur cave, where the Prophet was hiding, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu to the point that if one of them lowered his head and glanced in his face, he would surely see the two people they were looking for. At the tenth moment, Bubakar was very worried about the safety of Rasulullah, but he said, "What are you worried about, Bubakar? Even though we're only two people, there is, there is a tree, or there's no need to be sad. In it, Allah is with us. The getting says in the world of our Satan come down." So it's on seorang Taubah, if you don't help with him, Muhammad, so Allah will help with him. That is when the Swan was expelled him from Mecca. While he was one of the people when they are both in cave time, he said to his friend Tony said, "In need God is with us. Allah sent to praise to peace to him, Muhammad, and help him with any army of angels that you cannot see. And he made the call of the people the unbeliever is low, and God in God's words is the highest. Allah is the highest. Twice. Quran Surah October, verse 40. Okay. So the the next story is about journey to the city of Medina. On Monday night, at the beginning of the month of Rabiul Awal, first year of the Hijrah, first of the Hijrah, Abdullah bin Prophet the guide come to brought reading animals to Surah Cave as promised. Then Rasulullah and Abu Bakr, accompanied by Amir bin Fuhairah, started walking towards Medina. The guide guided the soul towards Yemen to cover a fair long distance, then head west towards the coast of the Red Sea, then headed to north. They they take place at people than this will take. The next day, after reaching half of this journey, the Prophet ﷺ resting under the shade uh, uh, last rock, while Abu Bakr checked the shade around him. Not long after that, Abu Bakr met a shepherd who have given him water. After the Prophet woke up, Abu Bakr gave him milk and drank it until he was full. After that, they continued their journey. In the evening, on the second day of the journey, they passed by Abbas, become located in Ceylon, on the outskirts of the quiet district, approximately 130 kilometers from Mecca, and both of them, Prophet and Abu Bakr, asked Umm about do you have anything? The woman called not entering the two of them because the court were in distant pasture. Meanwhile, there was only a goat next to his tent, which was unable to produce a single drop of milk. Rasulullah then asked to permission to squeeze it. When he milked it, the goat also milk until it could fill a large vessel. Here, Salah and the two people who were with him drank the full milk earlier. Then he squeezed again a second time until the vessel was full, and left it for Mumbada, Mumbad. They continued their journey. After they left, Mumbada's husband came to her surprise when he saw the milk. Umumnya narrated the events she explained as well the characteristic of the people who meet her Rasulullah from the tip of his hair to the tip of his speech to his manner of his characteristic. Everything is explained in detail. Verses 1 and 1 they that's meant by God is courage. In need, I will to join him. I will to and find him. When Prophet ﷺ dan Abu Bakar took the quiet area, Surah bin Jubair tried to follow him. He really hoped to get the reward from his father of Quraysh, but when his position was close to them, his horse didn't slip, so that he fell down. He stopped and again committed his attitude based on his robots. Based on the faults, he should continue his pursuit, but still does it even rode his horse until approached them again. He even heard the voice of the Quran reciting by the Prophet. He did not glance at Surah at all. While Abu Bakr often turned to her as she got closer. Suddenly, the two frowned like her sank into the sand as his finished, and he fell down again. He then called his horse to get up, and almost Daniel could not get out. The horse stood stood upright again, while dust fell into the air from the front legs of the animal. He waited for his rope again, and this time the choice did not come out. He began to feel such so it's a great fear, and he knew that journey Rasulullah will work. So he invited them to make peace. The messenger of Allah and his companion remained silent peace in the place until the people of course came to them. And he offers to bless the followers, but he didn't want to take it all. The Surah asked the Prophet for keep his action secret from people. He asked him to write a letter for Prophet and also order Amir bin Umayyah to write in his for president. The Surah read through to whoever she found, who has hunting the purpose of the Prophet and his companion. She said, I recommend, I, I, I recommend for information thoroughly. What is there is enough for you. On the next trip, that is, after almost arriving in Medina, the Prophet ﷺ met with Uraidah bin as as Armin at that Uraidah was with 70 of her people. At that meeting, they declared to their conversion to Islam. Came with us out for the storytelling about Prophet ﷺ pergi to Medina. Sorry if I mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.